What's up, everybody? I'm Michael Hayes. It's pretty nasty out here in Michigan today. We got 1 to 3 inches of snow, so unfortunately I can't go fishing. So I thought I'd sit down and share some of the knowledge I've learned throughout the years about spinnerbaits. First off, you go into Bass Pro Shops and you walk down the spinnerbait aisle, and what do you see? You see 400 different makers, 200 different colors of spinnerbaits, different blade combinations. It's kind of overwhelming, and it's hard to choose which spinnerbaits are going to work in what conditions and so on and so forth. Well, today I'm going to try to break that down so you can understand a little bit more of the fundamentals of when to throw spinnerbait, and it doesn't take 400 different types of blade combinations and colors and sizes and stuff like that to actually catch fish consistently on a spinnerbait. First off, I'd like to maybe talk about when to throw a spinnerbait. It's early spring up here in Michigan and springtime throughout most of the country, unless you're in the deep south right now, and they're transitioning down there probably to a post-spawn stage. But springtime is a very good time to throw a spinnerbait, and I believe that so because we get a lot of rain in the early spring and the water likes to rise. And I like to throw a spinnerbait in moving water. You know, not necessarily a river where it's flowing 2 miles an hour, but in rising and falling water or wind-generated current or current from a dam, so on and so forth. Just some moving water in your lake. In early spring with the rain runoff and so on and so forth, you get that rising water, and generally speaking, it's a dirtier water, it's a muddy water. And a spinnerbait that works very well in dirtier water is Colorado willow combinations, my favorite. I love to throw a silver Colorado and a gold willow. Not necessarily in the dirtiest of dirty water, but in, stained water. Though that blade combination right there has worked very, very well for me throughout the years. And skirt colors that I like to throw in that rising stained water would be chartreuse, all white, chartreuse and orange, colors that are really bold, your bolder colors. An all white spinnerbait works really well too. In clear water, I like to throw fluorescent color skirts. Those skirts seem to work a little bit better for me, such as your natural colors, not necessarily bold like I would in muddy water, but shad imitation colors, things that look natural for the forage in your lake in clear water seem to be a lot better in clear water. Another thing that I like to do in clear waters is I like to throw double willow blades. Double willow blades it's hard to describe exactly why, but they put off a different vibration and they seem to work a lot better in clear water, unless you're fishing a forage. So if you're fishing deeper grass in clear water, I still like to throw that willow Colorado combination. That tends to work for me, but if I'm fishing smallmouth around rocks or a lake that doesn't have much grass and I'm fishing clear wood or clear rocks or up shallow, I like to throw that double willow combination in either nickel or silver with a natural shad imitation skirt. Another thing that goes hand in hand with a spinnerbait is a trailer. And it's kind of confusing when to throw a trailer, when not to throw a trailer. Should I add one, should I not? It's kind of hard to tell. The best way that I've noticed is if I'm throwing a spinnerbait and I get a lot of short strikes or fish that are hitting my blades and I'm not connecting, I'm not making that hookup. Sometimes it works really well to throw a little grub style trailer on there. And what that does, in my opinion, is the fish come in and they see those blades flashing, because that's what actually attracts a fish to a spinnerbait, in my opinion, is the vibration that the blades put off. Those fish can feel that with their lateral line. They come in on it and they get right in and they get close enough to hone in on it and they see those blades, and that's the first thing that they hit. So sometimes adding a trailer, maybe offsetting the color, you're throwing a chartreuse and white spinnerbait, put a white trailer on it. And a lot of times them fish come in, they see them blades, and then they see that trailer sticking back past the blades. They hone in on that trailer and they'll actually hit the bait itself and get the hook in their mouth. My go-to colors, I've kind of hit on it a little bit, but in muddier water, I like whites, chartreuse, chartreuse and orange, your brighter colors that really stand out in that muddy water. And sometimes in muddy water, if it's really muddy, not just stained, a lot of times white spinnerbait with white blades work really well. Painted blades, not the shine, because in the dirtier water, the silt and the mud, so on and so forth in the water doesn't allow the sunlight to penetrate the water as well. So the flash off your blade isn't very far. The fish can't see it very well. They still can feel the vibration, so they come in on it. But I really like to throw a white blade or an orange blade. Even a single Colorado with a white or an orange works very, very, very well in muddy water conditions. Now back to clear water, I mentioned earlier that I really like to throw natural colors based on the forage in your lake. So a little bit more fluorescent colors, your grays, your shad colors, smoking shad, things like that with a hint of chartreuse, such as this one right here. I hope you guys can see this. That right there is one of my go-to clear water spinnerbaits, and it works very, very, very well. I hope this helps you guys, not be so nervous in the store when you go to Bass Pro Shops and you see all the spinnerbaits, because you don't need 100 spinnerbaits to catch fish. My all-time favorite spinnerbait would be I actually got one sitting right here, would be a 3/8 ounce silver Colorado gold willow in the size 3 in a Colorado and a size 4 to 4.5 in a willow. And my favorite color would be chartreuse and white. That spinnerbait's caught me fish all over the United States, as far south as Louisiana, which is where I'm from. I moved up here to Michigan, and that spinnerbait still catches just as many bass. It's a wonderful, wonderful spinnerbait. So I hope this video helps you guys. Remember to like, subscribe, and share with your friends if it did teach you, so you can teach them as well. And thank you.